Hi guys, in this video I will talk about range and quartile. What is the meaning of range and quartile? So let's get started. You know what is the benefit of knowing variation in data? I discussed these things in my previous video. Uh, so these are things used to measure the variation in data, and it gives us the answer of the question like how much variation in the particular data set. And range, quartile, standard deviation, skewness and kurtosis, this is statistical term which is used to measure the variation. So standard deviation is mostly used in the whole part. Before moving forward, I want to say something. If you get the maximum answer of your question, then you feel like I know very well about this particular event or data, right? And you feel so understandable and confident about the data set, and you can see the better image of actually you can do better prediction if you understand the data set very accurate. What I am here to trying to show you. Let's take an example. This is ISRO organization, which is a space research organization in India. And let us suppose that here is a government officer, and there are two candidates who was a researcher, and one name is Mohan and another name is Ram. And what is the task is given to them is that to search the drinking water in other planets. Now officer, what he do, he ask a question about the task. So first he asked the question to the Mohan, in which planet you find water. So Mohan said that K218b. And the second question he asked officer, how much water? Mohan don't know. The third question government of officer ask, how we can reach. So Mohan denied. Now whereas he asked the this same question to the Ram, and he give all of the three question. So he asked the which planet, then he give the answer, and how much water he find, 50 gallon. Then how you can reach, basically what Ram do, he show the officer a chart of planning how we can reach at. Now this officer he understood now Ram is better understand this particular data. So similarly, every statistical term and technique you learned in the statistics help us to give the answer of your lots of hypothesis question. I hope you understand. Similarly, range and quartile, what answer they give. So range show us the variations in the data, particularly the maximum level and the minimum level of the data set. And in other side, quartile give answer of, actually it help us to find the data point by which you compare the rest of the data set. All these things you will understand after a few minutes. Let's take an example, and let us suppose this is the India, and what I'm so this is the state Meghalaya, which is a state in India. And if you know, it is the most wettest place on the earth. The average rainfall is 300 to 550 millimeter, or 30 to 65 centimeter. So this is the average rainfall in India. And due to the climate change, what happens that in the particular Meghalaya, it occurred a problem due to the climate, and climate becoming very unpredictable day by day. So due to this, in Meghalaya, the government of Meghalaya actually see the drought in the Meghalaya, landscape slide due to the deforestation and the damaged crops and loss of home of poor people. So this is the problem Meghalaya faced. If we able to predict the more accurate condition of the climate, what we get the benefit? Basically, government make a better policy or budget, make a better budget for compensating the poor people, right? And the other benefit you get, actually, if farmer can also benefit from these things, because farmer can pre-plan to protect their crops. And the third thing is that disaster management organization is also benefit if they know the prediction value. So this is the Meghalaya. Let's see some facts. Average rainfall is 1150 centimeter or 11,500 millimeter. Now government of India want to know the prediction value so that he can make a better planning regarding budgeting and disaster management. And this is the data set. This is the randomly I took the data set to explain the example. Now let's use the range. It is a statistical term, our first statistical term. So if this is the data set and if you want to calculate the range, you have to first search the largest value, then smallest value. So what will be the largest value? 1142. And what is the smallest? 878. So if you want to calculate the range, you have to subtract it, and you got 264. So range gives us the information about how much the spreadness of data and how volatile my data is. That's it. It gives us information about maximum and minimum level of the dataset, as you can see in the formula. Now let's use this statistical term for prediction. So what will be the average of rainfall? 1150, and this is the variation 264. Now as you can see that error is huge. What does it mean? That what I am trying to say you, that if you suppose you calculate the maximum level of the data set, so 1150 plus 264 is around 1400, you suppose. And the maximum level of the in earth the maximum level of the rainfall in earth is 1200 centimeter. So you can think like that tsunami which was occurred in 2004. Tsunami is nothing, is just a earthquake in sea, and the level of earthquake is very rare. That's why you not see every year. Similar like this, the maximum level of 1400 is this is very commonest things it gives us. So that's why range is not sufficient to do the prediction. And let's suppose that if outlier is present in the data set, you should not you never use range. Nearby to 1200 centimeter is also a very rare thing you will find in the nature. In the nutshell, if I want to describe the range, so it gives the information about the spreadness is the data. Let us suppose there are two data set, and it gives only the variation spreadness of data. No other information we get from the range. Now let's see quartile. So basically what it do, it divides the dataset into four quarter, and Q1 is 25%, Q2 is a 50%, it is also called median, and Q3 is a 75% and Q4 100%. Let's suppose 50% is Q2 is 934. And what does it mean? It means that 50% of the data set is greater than the 934, and 50% rest of the data set 50% is less than 934. Similarly, if Q3 is a 75% and 1008, what does it mean? 75% of the data set is less than 1008, and the remaining of the data set, like 25%, is greater than 1008. What you can interpret this information from the quartile? 75% probability predicted value belong to near 1008. We said very easy, but somewhere we feel not so confident in the quartile. And as we go further in the statistical study, you will get better confident in your prediction. So in the next video, I will discuss the standard deviation. So thank you.